Okay guys, we're back and we are done with our 5 repeats of row 3 and 4, and we should have 16 double crochets, okay? And we should be on a right side row. We should have ended on a wrong side row. And here you can see the shaping happening. See how it's arching out. And now we're going to do the mesh section. So at the end of row 4, I'm going to go ahead and chain 3 and turn, because I didn't do that yet. 1, 2, 3, and turn. And then what you'll see is row 5, right side, chain 1. So we're going to go ahead and add a chain. And the reason we're doing that is that I just want to have 4 chain to start the mesh. And it's just easier in the pattern to just add that chain the way I've done it, so that I can repeat the mesh section throughout without having to make too many changes. So anyway, that's why. It's just a little quirk. Just add a chain to make a chain 4. Then you're going to skip the first stitch, which is this double crochet right here. Okay, so we're going to skip that first one. That's normally the first stitch we would work into, right here, and we're just going to skip it. And then we're going to double crochet into the next chain. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next one, and we're going to repeat that all the way across. And what that chain 4 did was it counts as a double crochet chain 1. Okay? So when we work on the other side, it just opens it up better. And you're just going to repeat that all the way across. So we're going to chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next one, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next one, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next one, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next one, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next one. And so here you can see we're kind of at the end and we still have a double crochet. So in that case, just double crochet into it without a chain 1. And that's fine, okay? So what's going to happen is we're going to go ahead and chain 4 and turn now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we should be on a wrong side. Now the mesh sections, we don't do any increasing or decreasing, we just leave them alone. So what we're going to do here is just skip this first double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, skip that double crochet and just double crochet in the chain 1 space that we made from the row prior, and you're just going to repeat that all the way across. And now on this end, we're going to go ahead and chain 1, double crochet into the chain, and then we're going to crochet into the, so we've actually crocheted into the chain 1 space, but we're actually going to double crochet again into the chain. So on that last section, you're going to see it's a mesh, but you're going to kind of see two double crochets on one row on one end, and then 2 double crochets close together on the other end over here. And that's fine. That's pretty much what we want. It doesn't really matter. I just do that to kind of even it out. But when it's blocked and worked into, you don't even notice, because we will be working into one of these sides to do the setup for the border. And also it's supposed to be kind of leafy, so I don't mind that my mesh isn't exact, because that way we don't have to mess with the numbers. We can make it really simple. So if you see here, it really does open up and you don't even notice. Okay? And it's to look leafy because they're actually like leafy vines heading into the flower, so it doesn't have to be an exact mesh. Plus crochet is really forgiving. So here we are. So this is actually rows 5 and row 6. And all row 7 is just really 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 3 and turn. So now we're on a right side row. all we're really doing is a row 3, but I kind of had to write it differently because I need to tell you to work into the double crochets and the chain 1 spaces. Okay, but it's basically just a row 3, but you're just going to work into each double crochet and each chain 1 space all the way across, and that's just to clean it back up so that we can get back into a solid section. So that's why we have a row 7, just because I had to clarify that you have to work into each double crochet in each chain 1 space after the mesh. But it's really just a row 3. But we want it to be as clear as possible. And once you see the repeat, you won't even need to deal with the pattern. You just do your increases to a certain point, and then we'll just go straight. So what's going to happen is we're going to get 3 mesh repeats total before we start working straight without any increases or decreases for the middle portion. Actually, I'm going to move that one over. This one should have 2 double crochets. So don't forget on that last chain 4, that's a double crochet chain 1, so make sure you work a double crochet in there and a double crochet into the chain. I almost skipped it. Okay, so at the end of the mesh row, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So just make sure that you have the same amount of stitches you started with. So over here we had 16, we worked our mesh, and then we ended, we need 16. You don't have to be exactly perfect, but if, you know, because crochet is very forgiving, but it's just nice to make sure you are so that you know you're not missing any stitches or adding any extra stitches. And you will notice the mesh will pull in a little bit. That's fine because during blocking it will all open up and it won't look as bumpy lumpy. Okay? So that's row 7. So what you're going to do now is we're going to do another row 4, and then after these 2 rows you're going to do row 3 and 4 5 more times. And then you're going to repeat the mesh section. So you're going to do 5 and 6, and then you're going to do 7 and 8, and then you're going to repeat rows 3 and 4 5 more times. So what we're doing is we're doing the increase section. So we're here, we just did our first increase, and remember this shawl is a little bigger because it's been blocked and stretched out a little bit. So, you know, this is a little chunky, but this is where we're at. And after blocking it will open up. Okay? So this is just going to look a little more chunky. But we're in the first mesh repeat, and you can see we're going to continue to grow. There's the second mesh repeat, and then here's the third mesh repeat, and after the third one, we're not going to be doing any more increases. We're just going to be working straight. Okay, so that is basically going over how to start and how to do your increases and your mesh sections. Okay, we're going to repeat that per the pattern until we get to the straight section, and I actually have the pattern listed as increase section, straight section, decrease section, so you know where you're at.